today. GDOE maintenance team on site to resolve internal electrical problems. Online students will still have classes for today. In-person instruction will resume tomorrow, October 6th. Any future changes will be announced. For any info, you can call Marshall Sablon at 565-2238. Well, there you go. At 7:02 now, let's head into the KUAM News Zoom room from the Guam Environmental Protection Agency. Nic Lee sitting by Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense. Guys, Nick actually does double duty, so he does the graveyard shift over at the Joint Information Center. And then he also, how do you even do that, Nick? You pull a shift, graveyard, and then you go to work at Guam EPA in the daytime?
Yeah, that's correct.
You don't sound so excited about it. He's like, yeah, that's my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, it keeps me busy. We'll put it that way.
Well, thank you for your service, Nick. We talk about the frontliners and how they're stretched thin. I want to say, I mean, no disrespect to them, because I'm pretty sure they're going to win all the stretched thin contests. But we're all stretched thin. People have been going above and beyond this whole pandemic. And thank you, guys. Thank you so much from, the grocery store worker, the gas station pumpers, the government workers, private sector, obviously, as well. And everybody, thank you guys for doing your part. And thank you, Nick, for pulling, what do you do, like 16 hours a day? Damn.
Keeps me busy.
Keeps you busy.
Yep.
7:03 now. So anyway, I reached out to you to get an update on a variety of things. So we'll go ahead and give you the floor. What you got for us?
Sure. Well, I do appreciate the opportunity. I would like to check in with you folks as often as I can. So we got a couple of things that we do want to share with the community. There will be a notice of violation that's going to be posted on our website later on this morning. This notice of violation was issued based on violations of the Guam pesticides regulations. Is my audio okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you sounded pretty good.
Right on.
Yeah.
So in July this year, the Guam EPA emergency response received a complaint call about dead birds appearing in the Tamuning area, and so our respondents came out to the area based on where the complainant stated. What they discovered was a pesticides applicator who was feeding birds, and apparently the area that he was feeding the birds around where there were dead birds scattered around that area of concern. So the investigation by the agency yielded that the individual was mixing a rodenticide, bird pesticide, rice, and adobo juice and feeding the birds. And so there's a couple of things that are in violation there, particularly with use of restricted use pesticides. Remember how we talked about this regulation when we were still in the middle of the dengue outbreak. A lot of attention has to be paid to the label of that pesticide. As a reminder, any pesticide or device that receives EPA approval or EPA registration, it does go through a strict administrative, legal, and scientific review, so that there are some assurances that if the product is used in accordance to how the manufacturer intended, you have reasonable assurances that it's going to be effective and you're going to be able to protect yourself and not cause unnecessary damage to the environment. Things go bad when people use these products against what the manufacturers suggest they use it for. So the notice of violation was issued to Noko'oi. One of their pesticide techs was found in violation of a few things. One, misuse, transport. You do have to be certified to use these things, to mix them and to transport them. And because of the level of pesticides being used, there also has to be a level of supervision over handling these pesticides, and that was an issue as well. So we haven't received any at this point. We haven't received any notice to appeal yet. This is the notice of violation was issued on September 20th. We will be working with the respondent if they want to, file an appeal, or if they have issues with our orders of compliance. So it's going to go through the standard paces that any respondent will be afforded once they receive a notice of violation from the agency.
Okay, let's just go back to the beginning. So,
Sure.
you guys happen upon a guy, I'm assuming an employee of Noko'oi, and
That's correct.
he was feeding birds. Are we talking about pigeons?
So the report indicated there was some chicharica birds.
Not the
What
chicharito.
else is here? I think it listed like 2 or 3 different birds.
Okay,
different types
so
of
this
birds.
guy is knowingly feeding these birds rat killer, is what you're saying?
So the concoction that was being applied on the ground was a mixture of a veritol, which is a bird pesticide. There's another product. It's called. Let me see if I have this name correctly here. First strike bait. That is a rodenticide meant to get rid of rodent infestation. And so these 2 restricted use pesticides were mixed with rice and leftover adobo juice. And that concoction was being used to feed the birds. And there was a complaint that the agency received.
Who complained? Who called it in? Was it a neighbor or something?
It was a neighbor in the adjacent area that made an observation that they counted at least a dozen dead birds in the area. So that raised some concerns for that individual, and that's how we were able to respond to that area in Tamuning.
Where exactly?
This is it's a roadway along Fahrenholt Avenue in Tamuning.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the report states. Yeah.
And so when the EPA inspectors happened upon the scene, was it, what did the guy say? Well, what was he doing? Just killing birds for fun, or?
We don't know what the intention was. The report does indicate that he did. The respondent did inform the complainant that he was feeding the birds. There was an assumption made that it may have been official business because there was the company vehicle was present, and so that's how we were able to determine where this individual worked. This individual, again, is a pesticide technician with Noko'oi.
So he should know better. If he's a pesticide tech, then he's probably taking classes about proper application and use of pesticides.
Absolutely, yes. So aside from the core card, there are a few other levels of certification that Guam EPA does regulate, especially when it comes to restricted use pesticides. So every aspect on a restricted use pesticides, from handling to storage, disposal, application, mixture, these things, they are all regulated by the agency, and a lot of these do mirror federal pesticide regulations. So we do take handling these products very seriously. Obviously, a pesticide is meant to kill, it's meant to destroy something, and you do want to make sure that you're using those products properly and in accordance with how the manufacturer says you're supposed to be using them. So
Are chicharicas a pest though, Nick? I mean, are they?
That's subjective. I mean, if you
I'm just trying to
if you
get a
have
handle
bird
on
infestation,
what the guy was
yeah,
doing.
I can't tell you what was in the mind of the individual at the time.
Was he
Um,
intoxicated, or were there any criminal? Was there a police response?
no, not that I'm aware of. This was investigated by the agency, so I can't tell you what the mindset of this person was at the time that he was using the concoction to kill off birds. I don't know what the intention was. The only thing I can tell you is that he was using products that are regulated in a manner in which they shouldn't be used.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that's where we have the enforcement authority.
Of course. And so when guy is throwing these potent pesticides, which are meant to be used by certified handlers and
Mhm.
private businesses that are authorized to applicate these pesticides, when he throws them on the ground, especially during the rainy season, all that stuff just washes right down the gutter. Correct?
Anything that's on the ground that receives a heavy amount of rainfall does have the potential to reach a waterway, either directly into the shoreline or through an outfall. I mean, it goes somewhere. Gravity dictates that the residual is going to be carried by the rain. Absolutely.
So I'm just trying to figure out because nowadays if you atambaba a dog, they send a SWAT team after you. So why wasn't there any police response? Did the EPA inspectors think that they should have notified the authorities? Given that there were 12, was at least 12 is it all 12 chicharicas, Nick?
No, there were different. There were two or three different types of birds that were identified. I know that
Any
one that
kaka?
stuck out in my mind was the chicharica.
Okay, because those are so cute and little, and there's that beautiful chirping.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
go ahead.
you guys didn't think, oh, we should call the cops?
That we could look into that. I'm not familiar with that with the law that you were speaking about in terms of
There isn't a
animal
law I was
cruelty.
speaking about. I was just saying that you atambaba a dog and they send the SWAT team after you. It was a little play, but you get the point.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. That's something that I can bring up with our agency's legal counsel to see if that was done or if that's something that we need to address. I could provide you an update once I have that conversation with her.
And so, what was the inspector showed up, and was there any conversation at all with the individual who was killing the birds?
Yes, an interview was conducted a few days after the incident was reported. I don't have the notes on that. I can only tell you what is in the notice of violation. And part of our responsibility is to inform the respondent what those violations were, and more importantly, how they are supposed to come back into compliance. So, we do have to remind them about what the law says, in terms of storage, transport, mixing, disposal, application of these products, and hopefully the company and any other company in this field of work keeps watch over that over their staff and over their certifications. These are important elements. Compliance checks are done periodically, and so the program will be keeping a watch over that, as part of their compliance measures.
Okay. Any update on the Marble Cave?
Sure. So the agency is in receipt of the U.S. EPA report. As you may recall, back in August, there was an inspector from Region 9's Compliance and Enforcement Branch that performed an unannounced inspection at the solar farm over at Marble Cave, and this inspection was performed to see if there was any violations of the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination irrigation permit system as well as the Clean Water Act. So a copy of that report will be posted on our website later on this morning. The report was also forwarded to the contractors that are responsible for the solar farm. Communication between Guam EPA's Water Division and Chief Engineer with the contractors at Samsung do indicate that the recommendations made by Region 9 have been addressed. We will be looking into that and reviewing their changes to their stormwater control plan. Other than that, the work still continues, especially with soil stabilization in the area. I know that they're also reworking conveyance channels to ensure that any runoff produced by the site is going to be contained by the ponding basins and to limit that unnecessary outflow from the project site. Still a work in progress. EPA inspectors continue to visit the site on a daily or near daily basis. The contractor provides daily and near daily updates in terms of our observations and the work that needs to be done to correct everything that was spelled out in the original notice of violation.
Must be kind of hard to do all those mitigating measures in this weather, Nick.
It is, and this is something that the contractor has brought to the attention to the agency. But we still maintain that had the plan been followed in the first place, you wouldn't have to be playing catch up.
Here.
A lot of the work that has to be done is also mitigating against the damage that you caused because you didn't follow your original plan.
Damn, boy, did you get to tell them that? That was the, huh? Samsung go after that.
Well,
your fault.
Let's just say they're very aware now. Yeah.
Let me know if you need someone to come and tell them that. I'd love to do that.
All right, on. Yeah.
Nick, people are talking. I was talking with a friend of mine over the weekend. When is US EPA going to pull the trigger on these guys?
So that's the other thing. With Region 9, we've been informed that it's going to take some time. If a decision is going to be made on enforcement action, it's not going to be as quickly as we would like it to be. So it's not going to be an overnight decision. They have to go through their evaluation in terms of what the state, or in our case the territorial EPA has done. They have to look at what other authority that they're able to impose upon, because remember, we don't oversee the Clean Water Act on Guam. We don't have that primacy. That primacy still resides with the federal government. So I know everybody is anticipating some type of enforcement action out of Region 9, but we don't know how quickly that is going to come, if at all. So we do want to remind the community about that. I mean, it's being deliberated, it's being discussed. It's just not going to be a quick decision.
But Nick, there's nothing that US EPA, even though you guys have come and tried to drop the hammer on this contractor, that doesn't stop US EPA from mirroring everything you guys have done?
It doesn't, mainly because of that NPDES permit that they apply for. There's both local and federal oversight over this project, mainly because of the scale of the project site. So anytime you're doing any earth-moving work to that magnitude, that triggers federal oversight as well. And so there are parts of that plan that Guam EPA does not have the primacy to enforce, and that's where our federal partners come in. And so that's on their radar,
this weather and what it does to the beaches and you guys testing?
Sure. So last week, the agency's environmental monitoring and analytics program did announce that a blanket advisory was issued to all 43 of the recreational waters that Guam EPA samples, and usually this is done when we receive a large amount of rainfall. There's sufficient reason to suggest that anything going into our recreational waters because of that rainfall is going to elevate bacteria levels to a level that will contaminate the water and make it unsafe for certain parts of our population. If you've got a weakened immune system, if you're elderly, or if you're still a developing child, these exposure to these types of waters can cause some adverse effects. So in cases where we receive that amount of rain, a blanket advisory is issued to the public.
Appreciate that, Nick. Is there a booster for that?
Not at this time, yeah. But once there is, we'll let you know, Chris. and I do want to bring up one other thing also.
Oh, sure.
Sure. Since we're just right inside the 90-day window for the next phase of the plastic bag ban, we do want to call the attention that effective January 1st, 2022, again, we're right inside 90 days, all plastic carry-out bags that are going to be banned for distribution by retailers and wholesalers at the point of sale. So regardless if your bag is compostable, biodegradable, or marked with that HDPE #2 marking, come January 1st of next year, those bags are not going to be able to be distributed by establishments. So we do want to call that to the attention of the business community, and then effective July 1st of next year, the only types of carry-out bags are going to be paper bags, and the only businesses that are going to be authorized to distribute that at the point of sale would be those eating and drinking establishments that are regulated by Department of Public Health and Social Services. And so now is a good time to start thinking about
grocery stores and mom and pop stores are not going to be allowed to use paper bags?
After July 1st, they will not.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nick, just for clarity, January 1st, you said even the plastic bags that have all the funny biodegradable markings won't be able to be used at all. So what are we going to be using come January 1st?
So the only bags that can be distributed, right, are machine washable, reusable bags, and so that's come July 1st. That's the only thing that the retailers and the wholesalers are going to be able to offer.
From
there
July
is a
1st,
tiny exception though.
Nick, from July 1st or from January 1st for the retailers?
January 1st.
Okay. Yeah. So again, come January 1st, the only bags that retailers and grocery stores are going to be able to use are machine washed reusable bags
and paper bags up until July 1st.
Okay, but after July 1st, no more paper. Only paper is for takeout.
That's correct.
Got it.
And it has to be by an eating and drinking establishment regulated by public health. Yes.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, I do want to point out a small exception to that rule. So, plastic bags can be distributed to package bulk items. So when you go into your hardware store, you want to buy some nails or something, you can use plastic bags to hold those things. Or if you go to your florist or your nursery, and you need to keep moisture in the plant, a plastic bag can be distributed to assist with that purpose. Prescription drugs, they do come with their own plastic bags. So those are some of the exceptions. And for more information on that, we do urge the community to visit our website, epa.guam.gov. You can click on that tab on the top. It does talk about the Plastic Ban Act of 2018, and
Right.
so all the information is there. Compliance is near perfect within the community. We've our solid waste program does go out and perform compliance checks with retail and wholesale establishments, and even since the onset of the enactment of the law, rather, compliance is near perfect. So there is awareness out there. Now that the next phase of the law is coming into play, we do want to point out that there are going to be some changes. So we do appreciate your time with us this morning to get that message out, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick, can I just ask it, like, for people that for whatever reason do not comply with the policy once it kicks in officially and everything like that, what are we looking at in terms of penalties, citations, fines, what have you?
Yeah, so the law is pretty clear on that. Violating that act could result in a civil penalty not to exceed $500 for the first offense, $1,000 for the second offense, and up to $10,000 for the third offense in a 1-year period.
Mm-hmm. That's. I was gonna say, and no pun intended, but that's pretty hefty.
He's been waiting minutes.
No, but I mean, and this only applies, you said, to retail and to include like restaurants and everything like that. But trash bags and everything like that is gonna remain status quo.
Right. The key is distribution at the point of sale. So if you are purchasing trash bags, that's a product that's not the establishment telling you that you need assistance carrying out your merchandise. And,
right.
That's a product for sale. Yeah.
Did you ask about the penalties?
Yeah.
Okay. Bree, you good? Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Sabrina Salas-Mantanani.
Actually, I just wanted to see if you had any comment, or Guam EPA had any comment on the passage of Bill 116 and 165. 116 addresses illegal dumping, and then 165 is regarding removing the cap on civil penalties for violations of the erosion and sediment control regulations.
Well, we supported the intent. We did have some suggestions in terms of the language of the bill. I didn't see the final version that passed through the legislature, and I don't know what direction the governor is going to take signing them into law, or if that's even happened. But we supported those things. The spirit of it, especially. I think it sends, particularly with 165, it's going to send a stronger message to developers, especially in light of what's happened with Marble Cave. It does give us flexibility, a greater control over issuing our administrative penalty orders. So we appreciate that. Illegal dumping and littering, again, it continues to plague the island. The three of us have done all of those talking trash tours.
Yep.
What was the other? Dirty Politics.
Yeah. Come up with some really cool names for those little shows, Sabrina. Dirty Politics. Yeah.
Those are what I recall off the top of my head. But anything that's going to help the agency and the community, obviously is going to be welcome. The one thing that we always try to look out for is can the agency effectively execute it, and that's something that if these measures become law, we're going to look into how best we can successfully execute the new laws.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard anything on the status of the AG's lawsuit against the contractors for the solar farm? I mean, all we've heard is that Samsung has the court has granted extensions for the company to file a response to the lawsuit, and we've already seen what's happened with the lawsuit regarding the Marble Cave area and the private landowners, and how there's been a settlement to that. So I'm just wondering if you've heard anything. Has there been any follow-up on your end?
No, I have not, and I really recommend that that comes directly from the AG's office. I don't have anything by way of an update on the Guam lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Has they filed their notice of appeal? Has there been a hearing yet on that appeal or board meeting?
We're in the process of acquiring an administrative hearing officer to get that squared away, and once we do that, that's going to be performed before the board. That appeal was for the contractor to prepare a new defense. So we don't really know what they're preparing until we get it before the board and hear the arguments.
Mm-hmm. Has there been any follow-up inspections, or we're just pretty much
right,
waiting?
I was in speaking with Chris earlier. Follow-up inspections are performed daily or near daily, especially when the contractor gives the agency status updates on the work that's going to be done. So a lot of attention has been paid to vegetation and soil stabilization. A lot of attention has been paid to ensuring that conveyance channels are channeling the stormwater runoff to where they're supposed to go. Strengthening the berms around the ponding basins, maintenance work to ensure that the silt fences are intact and they're working effectively. If it means that sandbags need to be deployed somewhere, then those measures will be taken. So there is a considerable amount of communication now, and something that Chris also pointed out is the magnitude of the work that's being done isn't just related to what the erosion control plans were initially. A lot of this is now repairing the damage that was caused because those plans weren't followed. So it's a lengthy process. We do acknowledge that the weather has not been favorable, most especially with the heavy periods of rain that we've been receiving since the violation was issued. But at the same time, it does give the contractor and the agency a good indication of how effective the plans are going to work. Because we have this rainfall, we can see if how effective the plans are going to be. So take it in stride, and we continue to perform our inspections and communicate with the contractor.
Mm-hmm. And did Chris ask about Coco's Lagoon?
Can you just say yes, because she's my boss? What about Coco's Lagoon, Nick? What can you tell us about Coco's Lagoon?
Are you referring to the
tire removal?
The tire removal.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We are closing that project out. I don't have the exact number on me, but I think approximately 1,800 tires were pulled off of the surface in the lagoon area. Those part of the contract was to ensure that the tires were disposed of off island at a permitted facility. So we've received bills of lading from the contractor that proved that the tires were shipped off island. They went to a company in India, and they're no longer here. So there's still some closeout action that needs to take place because the contract was paid for with the NOAA grant. So a lot of administrative work still needs to take place, for the agency to properly close that project out.
Do we need to move on? Because I do have another question.
Go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on that abandoned vessel removals. I think it was a project with the Port Authority.
Right. So last year, the governor did sign an executive order establishing the abandoned derelict vessel removal group. That is coordination between local and federal government. On the local side, you have Guam EPA, the Port Authority of Guam, Guam Power Authority, BSP, Department of Agriculture, all The idea is for the ADV removal group to tap into technical resources by a Navy salvage dive team. So a few years ago, we were able to host a removal in which this dive team could use real world application and float and lift watercraft in our waters. So we get essentially we get the free labor for these things to be brought to shore. Disposal will be on the local government, and the Navy divers do have a chance to get real world training experience because no one really wants to create a shipwreck out there. So if there's something existing that they can use for training benefit, then and it removes marine debris from our environment, it's win-win. And so that's still something that is in the works. We'll be providing an update on that ADV removal group very soon.
Right. But there's still this group. They're still meeting because I'm just looking at the agenda, and one of the last meetings that was held was, I believe, in April.
Yes. It's an active group. It's an active group. We are preparing for additional ADV removal very soon.
Okay.
I might be back talking about this next week or later on this week.
Let's book it, Nick. You just
All
say the
right.
word.
Right on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for the update.
All right. You guys have a good one. Stay safe.
You
All
too,
right,
my
stay
friend.
safe.
Thank you.
There you go.
See you
You
later,
see,
Nick.
Nick, everybody, well, they can't see because there's no face. Guys, I'm getting so many messages. There's a global outage of Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. I'm not ignoring you. Okay, but there's a global outage of
Wait,
WhatsApp.
how are you getting messages?
I'm getting texts from
SMS.
people who,
Oh, old school.
yeah, SMS texting, guys.
Yeah.
You might have been there. What had happened was there was an alien invasion, and they took out the Facebook the servers, but you didn't see it because your Facebook's down or your WhatsApp, so they couldn't forward you the articles about it.
Nah.
No, there's something. Jay, can you explain?